In 36 months, this market will look nothing like it does today. And if you're waiting for confirmation, you will already be priced out. This didn't happen overnight. You're just early, and early always feel boring. If you have seen a headline, a press release, or a drone shot on social media, that's usually the exact moment people show up after the money is made. Today, we're not talking about AI, the buzzword. We're talking about AI, the physical force that quietly rewires real estate. Who are we to say this? We're the Kitti Sisters. We have built and co-owned nearly $500 million in multifamily real estate, operated through multiple market cycles, and help investors preserve over $93 million in tax savings. In the next few minutes, we're going to show you where AI actually lives, why that matters for land and housing, and how the people who understand this early don't need luck or timing or headlines to win. If you get this now, you won't be chasing returns later. When people hear AI reshaping real estate, they think software, algorithms, Zillow, underwriting tools, but that's not actually the story we're telling today, is it?
No, that's the surface level. That's what you hear on media, mainstream media. That's what they're telling you. But that's really not where the real shift is. The real shift isn't digital, it's physical, it's infrastructure, because AI has to live somewhere, right?
Why do you think people misunderstand how AI actually impacts real estate?
Because people think AI is digital, and how can they not? We keep talking about it's in the cloud, right? Not a physical asset, but AI needs chips, factories, energies, people. Those things take land, and land is where real estate quietly wins.
So when those physical systems get built,
housing demands follows whether people are ready or not.
Okay, let's make this real. What's happening 25 minutes from our build to sell community?
2 words, Texas Instrument. Now, I know some of you guys out there listening to this, you're thinking, Texas Instrument, don't they make calculators? Yes, they make calculators, but something else that they make are semiconductor chips. So 25 minutes from our property, Texas Instrument is building one of the most consequential semiconductor manufacturing hubs in the country in Sherman, Texas. Think about things that power your chips, your cars, your computers, a whole bunch of gamut of things that are going to be powered by these chips, and is being facilitated and being built in Sherman, Texas. This isn't hypothetical. It's potentially a $40 billion investment, 4-fab plan, and the first one already came online December 17, 2025.
So this isn't a trend, it's committed capital.
Exactly. It's the first factory actually already have chips being built in it, being produced from that factory. Once infrastructure is funded, the question isn't if, is who's early enough.
So when you zoom out, does this moment feel unique, or does it remind you of other inflection points you have seen before?
It's a consistent pattern that you see throughout history. Every time there's large-scale infrastructure that shows up, ports, factories, tech hubs, housing demand doesn't spike overnight. It builds quietly, and the biggest value gets created before the market agrees it happened. And you can see this all the time throughout the entire world. This isn't a one-time phenomenon. It's a consistent pattern, and we're just excited to be part of it.
Palm, you keep coming back to this 36-month window. Why is this window so important?
Because this is a transition zone. This is where jobs get filled, executives relocate, vendors sign long-term contracts, but housing hasn't caught up yet. That's the uniqueness of the time frame. By the time demand shows up in the data, pricing already moved. And so this is something that when you're a developer, when you're an investor on this side, it takes patient capital. It takes long-term thinking. We're not the end user. We're not going to come in at the last minute and, hey, I want to buy a home in this neighborhood. We have to have taken the time to buy the land, get it entitled, do all the engineering studies, making sure that the property is permitted by the city to be built, right? So all those things take time and effort. And if we wait till the demand pops up, number one, we would be already too late to the game. The land price would be out of the waters and we wouldn't be able to do that. Case in point, in our own land, think about it. Only a few short years ago, one lot could have cost maybe 30 to 40K. Today, that same lot, probably about $80,000. That difference in just a couple years happens because the demand has exploded.
So what happens if someone waits until it feels obvious?
They don't miss the story. They miss the economics. Waiting feels safer, but it's actually more expensive. You know, one of the analogies to think about is like when you're surfing and you're like, hey, I want to catch the waves. And you're just sitting in the water and you're like, oh, this wave isn't great enough. Oh, this one isn't just right. And you're just sitting bobbling in the waters. Like you don't even get to actually surf because you're just waiting.
Keep waiting and waiting.
Keep waiting and waiting. The game is get on a nice surf and just go. Don't look for the perfect one because nothing is perfect. Don't look for the most ideal, the most optimal, because you'll always have to wait for the next wave because you don't know which one is going to be the best wave. So for us, we go with what strategically makes the most sense, and we don't have to shoot for the perfect shot because we have a big enough aim that we're going to be profitable anyway.
So this reminds me of AI adoption itself. People say, I will know when I see it. But the truth is, you probably already consume AI without realizing it. Is that what's happening right now in real estate?
Exactly. So by the time you see the change clearly, you're already living inside of it. So in real estate, that usually means that you're paying retail or you're paying maximum price for it. If you think about it this way, when you're going through a foggy zone and you can't really see clearly, but you're walking through it, by the time you get to the other side, you're already in the area, right? Because the fog is clouding you. The other thing I wanted to impress upon you is that AI has been living inside of a lot of SaaS products for a long time. It just wasn't outwardly known because they weren't products like ChatGPT that was an end user product, models that everyday people can use. But if you think about real estate, things like inside of softwares like MLS, Zillow, operating softwares for multifamily operators or leasing softwares, those already had AI features in them. You just didn't know about it. You were already living in an era that technology is impacting your entire life. You just now have the ability to actually use it on your own daily life. And the other thing is like, it's now a buzzword. Everything's AI, but it's been around.
So why does build to sell specifically work so well in environments like this?
Because you're not guessing who today's buyer are. You're designing for who's going to be moving in 2 to 3 years. Think engineers, executives, high income professionals. That alignment between timing and buyer profile is where the outside outcomes happen. We're targeting a specific group of people in terms of their profession. We want the type of people to be buying our apartments. Like that's who we expect to be the buyer pool, and they're not there today. So if we try to sell, if we had existing home today, it wouldn't match with who we feel will give us optimal return. But in a couple of years, when those people flood into the area with the demand for those kind of housing, then it'll be a perfect match.
So you're not reacting.
You're positioning. You lock in land early, design for the future, and deliver supply when demand becomes undeniable. Sometimes I think about the analogy of water. If you live in the Amazon rainforest or you live in a flood zone, right? A floodplain, too much water is your problem. But if you're in the Sahara Desert and you're stuck there or stranded there, water becomes essential. So what makes something desirable isn't the actual essence of it, it's the need for it. And so once we build a property with the demand in mind, the ideal client in mind, we're going to be able to have that perfect jigsaw match.
What is the biggest mistake investors make in moments like this?
They wait for certainty, but certainty is just confirmation that someone else already got paid. Let's listen to that twice. By the time headlines say surging housing markets, the window is already closed. We see people all the time waiting on the sideline. Like even today, when we met with our friends who have been in real estate, the name of the game is get in the game because they've gone through cycles. They've gone through 2008. They've gone through the 2020s. COVID pandemic, all that stuff. And their message is always stay ready, be in the game. Because if you're on the sideline, you are going to be too slow to react to any changes in the market. You're not going to have time to actually react and actually invest. I think like the physics analogy is that an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest. You have inertia really physically slowing you down, not allowing you to move. When you're at rest, it's hard to gain that momentum. But when you're constantly in the game, it's so much easier to pick up on the things that are happening in real time.
Like we always said, you can always make money in any market condition, right?
Yeah, and it's really about understanding the demand of the time. Sometimes you may say, hey, right now it's a rental market, so build to rent may work, buy existing or apartments may work. Or you may say, hey, because this market, specifically the sub-market, has a high driver for build to sell, then this is what you build. So you build it in reaction to the market conditions. You don't do it just out of your whim, like you do just to make this up.
Most investors would say waiting reduces risk. Why do you see it differently here?
Because in moments like this, inaction is the risk. When infrastructure is already funded and underway, the uncertainty isn't whether demand comes, it's whether you're positioned early enough to benefit from it.
For someone watching this thinking, this sounds compelling, but what could go wrong? How would you answer that?
That's the right question because the risk isn't whether the factory gets built, it already is. The risk is mistiming, being too early without a plan, or being too late without leverage. Strategy matters just as much as conviction. When we buy or build multifamily real estate, either way, we have to really understand the timing of when that will be in the market in demand. If you build something and there's no other property in the area, then you win, right? Because the demand will be high. If you buy an existing multifamily, for example, and you know that there's other new construction happening in the area, those are going to have concessions, they're newer, your existing apartment may be impacted. So you really have to understand what's happening around you as much as your own properties. It's not just your own real estate. You have to have a clear demand, clear grasp of what's happening in the entire market.
And semiconductor manufacturing isn't just another industry.
Right. This is a national priority and global priority. When the United States commits to chip manufacturing, everything around it changes. Jobs, income levels, housing demand, long-term stability. That's not speculation. That's history repeating itself.
So if someone's watching this thinking, I'll wait and see how it plays out, what would you say to that?
In 36 months, this corridor won't feel like an up-and-coming area. That's what I'll tell you. It'll feel inevitable. And the people who move early won't be asking what happened. They'll be explaining why they didn't wait. And that's where it all makes all the difference. There isn't much in terms of differentiating one human being from another. The one who take advantage of these type of moments, when they look back, they'll look like geniuses. And the one who wait will look like not so genius.
So what would you say about someone who's new and who never had, like ground up development experiences or even buying an existing building? What would you say for them to do? Should they just wait because they have no skill set, they have no clue, they don't know anything yet, and just wait on the sideline? Or should they just hey, just do it?
So I would say that I know that after listening to this, you guys may be excited. And if you're newer, I wouldn't advise that you jump into this on your own. There's a lot of details and nuances and you can get hurt. However, the best way to do this, and the way that we started our real estate investment journey also, was partnering up with people who are more experienced. For example, even on our build to sell project, we were partnering with some people who are newer to the real estate space. They wanted to do development and they didn't have that experience. And we were glad to partner with them in order to help them grow and learn in this space. So again, if you're brand new, don't do this on your own. Proceed with caution, tell you that. But if you join as a partnership, it'll make it so much easier for you to actually jump in. I just think about the movie Finding Nemo, and how when Nemo was trying to get to Australia, their Squirt, right? I think the name was the turtle. The turtle was Squirt. He's like, just go with the flow, right? That flow allows things to be so much easier and smoother instead of fighting the current. You just go with the flow and you get there much faster. That's like partnership. The right partnership will be that frictionless movement from you to get from point A to point B.
And everyone here values speed, execution certainty, and of course, convenience. We don't want to relearn and do everything on our own and start from scratch because wealth has the need for speed. Last question. If someone remembers one thing from this conversation, what should it be?
That Nemo rode the wave. No, just kidding. So that realism isn't about reacting to headlines. It's about recognizing patterns early and having the discipline and conviction to act before the crowd shows up.